Hey everyone, I just finished reading Godzilla vs. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It's it's a comic. It's okay. Not a whole lot happens in it. It's kind of short. Um it's fine. Like I don't know, I guess I was expecting something like with like the massive depth that Power Rangers universe goes into, but instead we got this and it's a nice little breezy story with Godzilla in it. It's fine. Let me go into some background of like what I thought of this before it actually came out. There was a few things I was hoping for. I was hoping that it would go like across all the different Godzilla movies and incarnations and combine them all, kind of similar to what the Ninja Turtles were like in the Power Rangers meets the Ninja Turtle comic. We got like this group of Ninja Turtles who they weren't specific to any particular incarnation. They have like certain elements about them that lean closer to certain incarnations than others, but they have other things that uh, like let them identify as like this other team, or it gives it this kind of like mystery. You don't quite know what to expect, but you can expect like anything from any Ninja Turtles. Whereas like in this, I was hoping for the same thing, and we kind of got that. I don't quite know where it's heading. Like at this point, after reading it, it kind of feels like it's gonna stay within like the Showa era Godzilla movies, the like the 60s, 70s ones. Although I don't know, maybe it could bring in elements from later movies and things because we do have like a very 90s looking Godzilla there. And so yeah, that was one of the things I was hoping for this to do. And the other thing that I was hoping for was that the Rangers would be treated in a similar way. That we would have a team of Rangers who, like, maybe they took elements from the comic, but also took elements from the show. And I think that would have been a really good idea because, as a Godzilla tie in comic, this will have a large audience who don't know Power Rangers that well. Their biggest exposure would probably be the original Mighty Morphin TV show. After all, isn't that what the toy companies and everything keeps pushing, that everyone knows Mighty Morphin the best and they don't know anything else? Whatever, anyway. It's very specifically the Boom comic versions of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers who are very different than the show versions. As well as the villains. The villains of this, Rita, Goldar, her crew, are very much the Boom versions and not the TV versions, which is a bit disappointing to me and will probably be a bit of a tonal whiplash to people who don't know the comics at all. Um, this begins very strange. Rita and her crew are going into this ancient temple to get something called the multiversal focus. No idea what that is. Is it something from the other comics? Because I don't read those. I know the show. I read like some tie-in stuff with the comics, but I don't know the comics that in depth. So anyway, Rita kills people on her way into this temple, and there's dead bodies lying around. Her and Goldar just straight up murder people, and it's not treated like by Zordon or the Rangers as anything out of the ordinary. Oh, and we see Zordon and the Rangers, and yeah, they're definitely the Boom Comics versions. They dress like them. Everyone talks like them. Yeah, and anyway, the weird thing with this is, oh yeah, there's a weird little thing on an awkward writing thing. Rita calls Finster Worm twice in a row. I just thought that was an odd thing. So anyway, the weird thing is she gets to the heart of the temple, finds this magic something or other, and she uses it to teleport her and her crew, along with Tommy, to this other dimension where Godzilla happens to exist. And I don't know, I just felt like that was an unnecessary complication to the story. Like, it's Power Rangers, even in the comic. Like, the comic arguably goes even crazier than the show has gone. It's not that big of a stretch to think Godzilla could exist in that world. So I don't really know what the point was of going to the other dimension. Since the Ninja Turtle comic, like, the Ninja Turtles exist in their world. The Justice League, well, they're kind of in another dimension, I think. I don't remember. I haven't read that in a while. But I'm going to talk about that soon at the end of this. Anyway, Yeah, so Tommy, Rita are in this other dimension with Godzilla. They see Godzilla fighting Megalon. And then suddenly, this UFO shows up. Straight out of Invasion of Astro Monster, Rita goes aboard and meets the aliens from Planet X. That's really cool that we get, like... Because I love Invasion of Astro Monster. I love the Planet X aliens. I've always wished that they would bring them back in some incarnation of Godzilla. I think they have come back in some of the comics. I keep hoping they'll show up in a new movie or something, but this was really cool. And they're utilized really well. Let's see. Oh, when Rita comes into the other dimension, she sees that she is still in Angel Grove, but the Angel Grove of another dimension. So that's kind of weird. I don't know why Godzilla and Megalon are fighting in Angel Grove and not Japan. I don't know, it's a minor thing, it doesn't really matter. So then, let's see. Tommy is there, and he summons the Dragon Zord, who, luckily, happens to exist in this universe, too. Okay. So, were there Rangers in this world, and Godzilla, like, frickin' killed them all, or something? Or was the Dragon Zord just under there all the time? Whatever, I don't know. Maybe they'll explain it in later comics. Or maybe the Dragon Zord came with him, who knows. Anyway, he summons Dragon Zord, and Godzilla get into a big fight. And there's a really cool bit, which will probably just go right past Godzilla fans who aren't Power Ranger fans, where the Dragon Zord shoots out his little finger missiles. That's a thing I've always freaking loved in Mighty Morphin. It's always stuck in my head. It's such, like, an iconic visual. The Dragon Zord lifts up its hands, and then pew 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 pew. It's such a cool thing. I don't know why that always stuck with me so much, but anyway. Godzilla trashes Dragon Zord, like, immediately. And I can see some Power Ranger fans getting kind of ticked off because, like a lot of fans, they always have those fights, like, who would win in a fight? Would it be this guy or this guy? And usually it's whoever's your favorite. Like, have you ever heard those schoolyard fights, or Twitter fights, where people are like, who would win in a fight? Luke Skywalker or Optimus Prime? Why would they be fighting in the first place? Also, like, whatever. Anyway, Godzilla trashes the Dragon Zord, but honestly, it makes some sense. Like, Godzilla's an unstoppable monster, and the Dragon Zord, yeah, like, it's a cool robot, but yeah, he is gonna get destroyed by Godzilla. Sorry, Power Ranger fans, that's how it goes. Let's see. The other Mighty Morphin Rangers show up, and, I guess they just followed where Tommy went. There's not much of a conflict in this. That's one of the surprising things about this. There's hardly any conflict. It's like just stuff that happens. It's all set up for whatever that happens in the next issue, which I'm hoping is a bit more in-depth than this. One of the things that was really nice about this was there's a cover gallery in the back. Although it doesn't have the coolest cover, but oh well. But there is this cover with Namikawa from Invasion of Astro Monster. That's cool. So, like, she's not in this issue. So is she gonna show up in a future issue? That'd be really cool. So anyway, final thoughts on this. It was okay. Like, story content is really minimal, but it's fine. If you're a Godzilla fan, you'll probably like it, because Godzilla's, like, being a badass. If you like the Power Rangers, if you like the Mighty Morphin Rangers from the Boom comics, you might like it. Yeah, like, the Rangers being specifically the Boom versions is so weird to me in all these, like, team-ups they do. Like, they did the Ninja Turtles, they did Justice League, now they're doing Godzilla, and each time, it's specifically the Boom Comics version and nothing else. And it's really weird because whenever they team up, or, like, cross over with someone, what they cross over with, they, like, have this vast library of things that they take advantage of, but the Rangers, nope, it's only this one specific incarnation and nothing else. For the Justice League team-up, I remember seeing a review someone did, and it was so weird seeing, like, all these, like, deep-cut Justice League characters. Also, it was a very weird point in Justice League. Cyborg is a part of the Justice League, which I guess is a thing now, but I don't know Cyborg as a member of the Justice League. I know him as a member of the Teen Titans. Like, one of the first comics I ever read was, like, a 1980s the new Teen Titans Cyborg's origin, so he's very much cemented in my mind as Teen Titans. I don't really follow DC that closely, so like that was very strange to have all these like very obscure DC characters showing up, but then for the Power Rangers, it's only the Mighty Morphin Rangers, and only the versions from the comics. For the Ninja Turtle one, same thing. They had this vast, like, library of Ninja Turtle characters, or at the very least, elements and traits from across all the different incarnations incorporated into the comic, but the Power Rangers are just the Boom comic Power Rangers. Plus this random, like, rando character that just comes out of nowhere and was friends with Tommy. Like, he's not from the show, and doing research, he doesn't appear to be from the comic either, so I don't know who he was. What was his name? Tyler, I think? Whatever, anyway. Now there's this, and I haven't read the whole thing, so I can't judge it too much, because for Godzilla, all we've seen is a, like, very 90s Toho-looking Godzilla, and we've seen some Showa characters, Megalon and the Planet X aliens, their UFO. Yeah, not a whole lot of Godzilla stuff yet. Like, I'm hoping maybe they'll incorporate other characters in creative ways. One of the things I've heard is that they will eventually use Mighty Morphin monsters in the comic. Like, we're gonna see Eye Guy or something. That's cool, I guess, but again, like, it's kind of hindered by the fact that these are the Boom comic Rangers, and those monsters don't have the same kind of relevance in that incarnation as they do in the show. Like, it'll just be be cool to see these characters fighting Godzilla characters or whatever, but it would have been cooler if this was like its own take on the Rangers and not just trying to tie in with the Also, like, again, the alternate dimension thing, why did that have to be a thing? It's a very weird plot point, and it doesn't really seem to matter since the Rangers can just easily go through the portal to the other dimension. I feel like that could have been a bit of a conflict. Have Tommy be the one who gets stuck there, the portal closes, the other Rangers are trying to find a way in. Although I guess then we couldn't do cool team-up shots or whatever. So anyway, there's my rambling review of Godzilla vs. Power Rangers. It was alright. So, yeah, that's it for this one, I guess. See ya.